From the Easy Go Studios, KLAW Lawton Fort Sill, another hour of Oklahoma's best country on KLAW 101, a taste of country station.
It's now time for the J Burke Home Show on KLAW 101. For the next 30 minutes, you'll hear information that will save you money around your house with your hosts, Eric Sherem and Jay Burke.
And good morning, Southwest Oklahoma, with blue skies and sunshine and another great hot summer ahead. I guess someone turned the rain spigot off. We're done with, well, there's a slight chance of rain, 20%. But anyway, and now the heat starts. It's kind of like, but you know what? It's been a great spring. I mean, wet and milder spring. It's been nice. The winter was okay. And, you know, it's funny. I don't know where we come up with these ideas, but the old adage will tell you, well, you know what that means, don't you? And I'll say, well, like, what? You mean a milder spring and wet? Oh, it means we're in for one hot summer. I said, I've lived here for 28 years. It's always been a hot summer. When did we get a mild summer? And it's almost like Mother Nature. Okay, you got away with one, so now I'm going to make you pay. I said, I'm sure that's how this works. You know, I let you down easy in the spring, so now you're going to get it. I'm going to get. And you know, I love older people to death, but I hear them say it the most. You know, it's kind of like, oh, you better prepare, you better get ready, but. You got to get ready for heat and air season, and what better way to talk with JJ Burke is heat and air, and that's what this is your Christmas. This is the busy time of the year for you. Yeah,
that's right. Well, we've gotten to where we stay busy year round, but you're right. This is a time of year that you know, everybody, if it could ever go wrong, an air conditioning system could ever break, it always breaks.
Well, because it's going to be used.
Yeah,
you know, it hasn't been used all winter and spring, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's hot outside. And it needs to. Hey, we want you to cool this house down now.
and the humidity has been so high here, which we're not used to here, and so when the humidity is really high, you know, I had a guy text me last night, and he said it was. You know, he said, you know, it's Africa hot here right now. And I said, what does that mean?
Serengeti.
He said, it is so hot. Took a picture of his thermostat. It was 90-something degrees inside his house. Wow. And he said, but it feels like it's 108 and the humidity. And he said, and there's not a place on me that's not sweating, and this is not good. And so we were able to get out there to him last night. But yeah, it's been a weird spring. You know, usually we have some warm days before this. We really have barely hit 90 so far,
which has been good.
Well, yeah, I guess if you're not in the heat and air business, it's good. But no, we've had a lot of people that it's given us time to actually get people that had old systems that wanted to replace them. You know, usually in Oklahoma, you know how it usually is by May, usually the end of May, back when we used to graduate from I remember one year in middle school, it was like 103 one day on May 30th or 31st, back when the graduation was from middle school. And my father telling me, get ready. As soon as you go home, take off that little suit you got on. We're going to work. and I remember thinking, oh, that's what this is about. This is the way my summer is going to start. So, but we've been excited. It's actually, you know, we're booked, you know, right now we're about a week or so out, but we still get people that are down. We try to take care of those first. And we have those that are just wanting replacements. Most of them are saying, you know, tell us when you can get to us, and we're fine. We still have heat and air. We're not dying. Our air conditioner's working. So we've got those as well. But I'm really proud because in the last few weeks we have seen a huge spike in people calling us from Duncan, people calling us from as far away as Elk City. Hearing that, hey, we understand you're the company for heating and air. And I mean, Elk City, you know, and I said, I didn't know how far Elk City was from here. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's a little bit out of my range. You know, I appreciate the compliment, but, you know, maybe in the old days when we didn't, you know, when you were thinking, I only have one customer and what do you do? Maybe that's
load up and go to Elk City.
Go to Elk City, you know. But now we're like we're swamped here anyway. So
that's well over an hour, isn't it?
Yeah, it was like almost a couple hours, and I was like, oh Lord, you know, we can't go to Elk City. We can barely keep up here doing what we're doing, trying to keep everybody happy and make sure that everything's right. And so installs anymore, you know, used to in the old days, and I know I talk a lot about old days because my father, but in the old days they would say, we're going to put a unit in. My dad would say, okay, y'all get that unit put in today, and we'll start another one tomorrow. That's just not the way it works today. You know, with the things that we have to do with the duct sealant and and sizing of their equipment correctly and doing all those things that we have to do to make sure you're getting the system that's designed and built for your home, and making sure that your home is energy efficient as it can be. It's not a 1-day install. It just is not. And sometimes it's a 3 or 4 day install. Just depends on what we have to do.
Because you're going to do it right. I mean, you're just going to throw something out there.
And I would much rather, I always tell people, hey, if I think it's a 3-day install, I'll say, I want you to give us a 4th day just to be safe, because we're going to do it 100% right. And we're going to make sure, even if we need the part of that 4th day to blow insulation or seal things, that's exactly what we're going to do. And so, but I can't imagine me telling my dad I was going to have a 3 or 4 day install. I think he would have said, what are you talking about, boy? But that's back when units were, hey, for $2,000, we'll put you in a whole new system, or $3,000, a whole new system, and wrote it on the back of a business card. So it's just a total different industry. And I'm proud of our industry. We've come a long ways. Used to, it was all our goal was just to heat and cool someone's home. We never thought about efficiencies. We never thought about sealing your home. We never thought about insulation. We never thought about doors or windows or venting your attic. We never thought of any of that. That wasn't even in the conversation years ago. And like I said, I've been in the business 20 years, and it just wasn't the conversation. And now it is the conversation. It is what's supposed to be happening. But I will promise you, not all companies, even in Latin America today, have any clue still today of how to do that. We are the company that makes sure it's done right. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the guys that work for me, and the crews and the ladies that work for me too. So we work very hard to be the best at doing what we do.
Now, some of the best educational tools I think we have learned over this show is just testimonials, basically, about information that you get. And we're talking about sizing, and we're talking about sizing of units. We touched briefly upon that last week a little bit about, whether you have a 3-ton, these are just, usage that you hear words, or a 5-ton unit for this amount of space. And it's always based on how much space your home is and then the unit. But then you come across that someone actually had too much. And now you go into the story about what you came up with that I think is very, very informative.
Well, we just this week had a system that was in a home that was a 5-ton system, but every time his former heating and air company would come to him and say, well, it's not getting enough airflow to the back rooms, and he had a 4-ton, the guy said, well, let's just put a 5-ton in and you'll get more airflow. Well, that is not the way to solve those kinds of issues. And so it just compounded his problem. And he already had indoor air quality problems. He noticed mold and things growing in his showers, and he said it always feels cold in here, but it's not a nice crisp cool. It's muggy, it's kind of sticky, and the unit comes on and shuts off and comes on and shuts off. He said, I bet it does it 100 times a day. And he said, so can you come just check it? And his unit was 5 years old. Can you come and just check it for me and tell me why it's just running like short cycles? Well, I call it the freezer effect. It comes on, it satisfies really, really fast because it's way too big for the house, and then it shuts off, and never takes care of humidity, never takes care of indoor air quality, never has time for to really filter anything inside the house. So, number one, you pay too much in utilities if it's too big. We took that 5-ton unit and the guy's house after we have a program where we do what's called Manual J, which is basically we put everything in. We put the brick, whether your house is brick, whether it has a slab floor, what color shingles you have, exterior walls, what kind of windows you have, what kind of doors you have, which way they face, how many walls are exterior to the outside. We put all of that in, how many grills are in each room, how many returns are in each room. All that goes into a computer, and then it says, this is the size unit you need for this house. Nothing more, nothing less. You sure don't want one that's too small, but it's just as bad to have one that is too large. But the first thing that you do, what is it called? Oversizing a system, how important is it to me? Well, number one, you pay way too much in utilities. You just pay
you paid too much to get that unit in the first place, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because a 2.5 ton as opposed to a 5 ton, there's a big price difference of just that alone.
Absolutely. The box price is, the bigger the unit, the more the price. And why pay for a 5 ton when you only needed a 2.5? Wow. It didn't make sense. And then what we see is if you're having problems in certain rooms of your home, it's not because your unit's not big enough normally. That is never the case hardly. It's because your ductwork is not sized properly. So when we do this Manual J in the computer program, we come out and measure your home, and do all of that. And once again, this is another one of those free things that we do.
Wow.
We come out, we'll evaluate your home, we'll do the load calculation for free, and then we tell you this is the size unit you need, and we guarantee that. We don't just say, well, put a 2.5 ton in and we're going to hope this is going to work for you.
Well,
No.
and I've heard that. I've heard it used that, well, this should do it. I mean, this size for this amount of space house, this should do it.
Yeah.
And
No.
those aren't comforting words to say.
We say, and my guarantee is 100% guarantee it will be the system you need. And you're not going to need to change it in 5 years. This is not a 5-year deal. These things should last you 15 to 20 years. And if they're not, it's because they're not installed properly, they're not charged properly. So all those things make a difference. But the ductwork is just as critical as the system size. If your ductwork is oversized or undersized, you have airflow issues. And we're listening right now to some air here in the station that's come on, and it's loud.
Yes.
You can barely hear yourself think. And so it's not sized properly.
I never knew there was sizes. I never knew there were sizes.
Yeah, different size duct. You shouldn't hear that the whistling through your ducts, and you shouldn't hear the noise come on. And people will tell me, my wife has to turn up the TV so loud when the unit comes on. And so we have.
You know what? That's funny. That's solutions for everything, including your truck. Hey, there's a belt that's making a noise. Just turn the radio up. Let's not get it fixed. Just make it louder so I don't have to hear it. Exactly. That is funny, but it is a reflection of who we are as people.
We solve family problems every day. We help the husband or the wife out, and the wife will say he's going deaf. Well, it's not he's going deaf. He can't hear the.
No, there is selective hearing in there too.
Yeah, well, I think so too. He's like, I'm turning that off. But and so, and we've had people say to us after we put a new Linux system in, is it on? I can't hear anything. I can't hear it indoor or outdoor. And it's because they make the quietest units on the market. They make the most efficient units on the market. So we're always proud of that. When we put a unit in, they'll go out and still say, this is what it was supposed to sound like all these years. I used to wake my neighbors up with my air conditioner, It was so loud.
You say that. I always heard my neighbor's air conditioner all the time. I guess it kind of lulled you to sleep.
Yeah, it did. It's kind of like a ceiling fan kind of effect, right? You got to have a air movement or something.
Right.
So, but duct being installed improperly and not sealed and not done right and not sized properly also just costs you a lot of money.
Now, how surprised was that guy when you came in with that information that he had a 5-ton? You say, sir, I'm not trying to upsell you. I'm going to actually take you where you needed to be all along. That's got to be educational, and the light bulb comes on to say, you know what? No one ever took the time to explain this kind of stuff. Like, I never knew and didn't want to ask about vent size. I didn't know any of that. That's not a part of from what I understand.
Well, first thing he said was, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
And I don't want to buy a system either that's not going to cool my house when it's 105 degrees. I want to make sure it's going to cool it. And so our guarantee to them is we have 100% money back guarantee on all the systems we install. If for any reason, and I've never had this happen, 20 years now, never have I ever had to go back and give somebody back their money because they didn't like their system. Most people call me and thank me because they're saying our system is working perfectly. And I can't believe we were spending that much in utilities. I can't believe that unit was that big and we didn't need a unit that big. Now, sometimes your unit is the right size, but your ductwork is bad. So it can be a combination of both. But we will be able to tell you both when we do this manual J, and then it does which is a load calculation for air conditioning. Then we do a manual D, which is duct sizing. So this same program says this room needs X amount of ductwork to make this room cool. And so what size ductwork should go to that room. It's not a guess. There's just not a bunch of guys up in the attic going, well, let's just put one in there. It looks like put an 8-inch duct in there or a 10-inch duct in there. No, that's not the way we do it anymore. So, but really, it costs you more to buy and to operate oversized units. But over 70% of the homes, now I took this off the EPA website, over 70% of all homes in the U.S. are way oversized. 70%. That was an astounding number to me. Sometimes at least 1 ton too big or more. And that, again, was one of those things. And the duct is not sealed or installed correctly. That's right off the EPA website. This is not Jay Burke coming up with some numbers. So 75% of all homes are improperly charged. And what does that mean? Well, when we go to put a unit in, we have to. Units come with some refrigerant in them, and we release that into your system when we get it started. But we have to add usually a topping off charge. We have to add a little bit to it to get it charged properly. Well, we do it with subcooling and superheat, which I know that's a big term, but we take temperatures, and we it's not like the old days where you just put a gauge on and look at a gauge and say, oh, that's the right way it works. Now everything is, these guys have digital gauges, and they're very high tech. But if it's not charged right, just a like a half of a pound, and most systems hold 15 to 18 pounds of refrigerant. A half of a pound can make your system that you bought that was a 20 SEER system, which is pretty high efficiency. You get a 20 SEER system, it can make it a 15 SEER system by not being charged properly. So it's just as important to make sure the install is done right as it is buying the right equipment, getting the right ductwork, but you have to have the company that also knows how to make sure that it is operating the way it's supposed to operate. Because you can buy the most efficient piece of equipment you want, but if they don't put it in right, it doesn't matter. It's not efficient, and you just wasted your money. Might as well thrown it out the window, because I hear people say all the time, well, they came and they put it in, and I go up and I look in the attic, and people are just sick because there's so much ductwork in the attic that's like excess ductwork that they've just laid everywhere, and it just looks like spider webs of ductwork. And sometimes the ductwork is so the attic's so full of ductwork, you can't even get through it. I mean, it's ridiculous. And so we don't do it that way. It shouldn't be done that way. And if yours is that way, call us. I'll come take a look myself and let you know what I think it needs to happen to make this right. Because some people say, well, my back room that's the furthest away from my unit, I never get any air in there. That's not a good enough answer. We can make sure that your unit is sized properly and your ductwork is sized properly so that every room in your home should be cool and not be off. We've had people say, hey, one room is 10 degrees hotter than the other year round, or 10 degrees colder in the wintertime. That's not right. You've got a problem there.
Solution is not a little space heater,
No.
An extra blanket, turn up the TV to ignore the sound, that kind of stuff.
And people say, I have to keep my unit. Usually you used to leave it set on 75 in the winter. I turn it up to 78 because those back rooms don't get warm enough. So they're just trying to heat the rooms by heating up the rest of the house. They're sweltering in the front and there's nothing in the back. But that we can fix that. That doesn't have to be that way. And houses that are designed right don't have to be that way. But then I also found something on the site that was 89% of all homes have heating and air systems that have incorrect airflow and the duct system is not right. 89%. So almost all houses are not sized properly when it comes to ductwork.
But here's what it tells me. It tells me, Jay, that like everything else, I mean, we're concerned about maintaining our car and doing it. We wait until it's broke. Yeah. I mean, it's there. It's been there. It was probably been there when we bought the house. And I don't make a phone call to properly maintain, to see any of this stuff that you're talking about until it's July 13th and it's completely out.
Yeah.
And then I make a phone call because it's broke.
Well, they're used to dealing with it. They think that the room is never going to get hot or cold.
Right.
That back room,
adapt.
Well, gosh, that room never works. I bought a fan and we blow it from the hallway down the hallway into that room. So but savings and the comfort is what people are missing. The comfort of their house, being able to go from room to room and it be the same. But the savings in utilities, and what I think aggravates people is they've spent thousands of dollars because units are not cheap.
Right.
They're not cheap. And you spend thousands of dollars and you think you're getting the right answer. And the company that comes to put it in just is not qualified to install the heating and air system. Just because they have a mechanical license and they have a heat and air company does not mean they're qualified. Do your due diligence if you're a buyer. Ask
the right questions.
Ask for references. We've got hundreds. Ask. You can call our customers. You can ask them, what do they think? They just put a unit, and I'm not talking about a reference from 2010. I'm talking about from last week. They just put it in and we love it, or for a year ago. And we got them for 5 years ago and 10 years ago, and they're still our customers. They still love us and we still love them. So, that's what we want to do is make you a customer for life. But most are just that we see people are just very frustrated. They've spent a lot of money and they kind of got a bag of goods, if you will. They truly feel like they've been, cheated, if you will. And I don't think that most heating and air companies are trying to cheat people. they just aren't well trained.
They just don't know better.
They're just not well trained.
Okay.
I bring guys over from other companies that come to work for me, and I think, how did you do it? What did you do? And so we train them. We put them through a vigorous training, process with our guys. And they say, we never did this at XYZ company. And I said, that's why you were with XYZ company. This is not the way we do it at J&J Burke, and we're never going to do it like that. And so we make a difference. So, but most people say, well, how can you help me? Just tell me how you can help me. Number one is, let us come do the evaluation. And let me come out there, let me evaluate your home, let me do the test on the house to make sure what you need. Absolutely free. We're not going to charge you a penny. It's your decision to make whether or not you want to make the changes to make your house comfortable. We will give you a fair price. And some people say to me, well, if you're going to do all these things, it must be, this is going to be a $30,000 job. You're scaring me. Because I need.
And you're going to pad it into the bill.
Yeah.
It's free now, but
Yeah.
nothing's ever free.
No.
We're going to pay for it.
Oh, no matter what. My story is, you know what? You're going to pay already, whether you pay me or a guy that doesn't know what he's doing. And you'd much rather pay somebody that knows what they're doing. You wouldn't go have a heart surgery without checking out the heart doctor, right?
Yeah, that's true.
You're like, wait a minute, let me check. Is this guy
even your car or even your lady's hair?
Exactly.
You don't let them touch your hair unless, hey, I got a referral, from this lady.
Skylar goes, my daughter, she goes to get her hair done, and this is a lady that does her hair.
That's right.
Because her friends go to that girl that does her hair.
It's important.
So it's a big deal. But right now with the utility rebates, with now PSO, we hope comes back July 1st. CenterPoint up to $2,000. Utility manufacturer rebates up to $1,700. We offer 12 months no interest, or 4.9% APR for up to 120 months. So we have ways that you don't have to pay cash. You don't have to take a dollar out of your pocket. You can finance these things so that you don't have to do that. And sometimes, or almost all the time, the $100 payment that you make a month, the utility rates are lower to over $100 a month. And so you get exact.
Wow. It's a good trade-off.
Yeah. And the test that we do will tell you exactly how much you're going to save.
Right.
So it's not a guesswork. It's not just Jay coming out going, well,
Eric, I think you'll save.
Eric, you're going to save 52%. And you're like, oh, well, okay. And then you get that first bill and you thought, it didn't change a lick. It's still the same number, Jay.
I'm calling you. What
are you doing? And I'm like, so it's a guarantee thing, and it's science. It's back in the old days. That's not what they did, and it wasn't because they weren't. I don't think they weren't trying. It's just the technology wasn't there.
They didn't have didn't have the information.
No, it was just bad. So, but you also now you can get up to $500 in federal tax credits. So, these are things.
Time is now.
Yeah, it's this year. Will they renew them next year? I don't know, but and then you get 10-year parts and labor warranties for 10 years, all parts, all labor covered on your new system. Huge. And then we also give you a 2-year comfort club when you buy a new system. So
that's nice.
We just started doing that. So now
talk about the comfort club, because then you're on the top of the list. There's no waiting. Come to you, whether it's holidays, weekends, it doesn't matter. And then they come out twice a year and do your evaluation. So it's great.
Yeah. So you end up getting a whole bunch of stuff that you probably never had before with that 100% satisfaction guarantee or your money back. And we guarantee that for the first 2 years as 100%. I'll just guarantee it. Let me just say it like that.
Wow.
I don't care if it's 2 years. I don't care if it's 3 years. If you're not happy, I will take it out and give you your money back 100% if you're unhappy with your system. I've never had anyone ever say to me, I'm unhappy with the system you put in my home. Ever.
Now, we've got something that we're going to give away this week for the show. And then we also want to say that if you have a question, maybe there's something that we've not talked about. You say, you know what? I wish you would address this issue. I'd like to know a little bit more about this. Just go to our website.
It's JJBurkAir.com.
It's pretty easy, JJBurkAir.com. And then you can select right there with your question that you have that we can probably use in the show. And then this week's prize that we're giving away.
We're going to actually give away something a little different this week. It's the whole home ultraviolet germicidal light. Okay, they say, ooh, that's a mouthful. What exactly does that mean? Well, it purifies the air in your home, and it helps you breathe easier and eliminates any contaminants that get into your system, dog hair. All the time we've talked about cleaning coils and ductwork.
Yeah.
Well, this eliminates that. This UV light actually kills and eliminates that and puts it into the filter. So when the filter's clean and taken care of, it's thrown away. So it helps the air that's circulated through your system, and it keeps your ductwork and your system actually totally clean and free. The value is $599.
Wow.
So we're going to do a duct cleaning plus install a UV germicidal light, absolutely free, to one of the callers that calls in today.
All right. So make sure that you go to JJBurkAir.com, and then you can select that as far as a question, or just say, hey, sign me up for this free chance to win. We'll get that into a drawing, and then we'll announce that winner for next week's show.
Yeah, and they can also go to info@JJBurkAir.com, and it'll also say, if you want to enter that way, we're more than happy for you to do that. Just go to info@JJBurkAir.com, and we'll get your, just say, I want to, in the comments, I'm wanting to get the free duct cleaning and germicidal light. I want to be entered for that. And we'll put you in that, and we'll draw that on Monday.
All right. We will take a break, and we'll be back with the J&J Burke Home Show right here on KLAW 101.
Hi, Jay Burke here from J&J Burke Heating and Air. At J&J Burke, we've been helping you save money and have a more energy-efficient home with the Power Forward rebate program. Now, we can help you save even more. At J&J Burke, we've added rebates from CenterPoint Energy. Now, the combination of rebates from PSO and CenterPoint Energy could save you thousands on the purchase of the most energy-efficient heating and cooling systems available. If your energy bills are too high, and whose aren't, call J&J Burke and use the new PSO and CenterPoint Energy combined rebate program. J&J Burke is a 2014 PSO Partner of the Year for the entire state of Oklahoma. We are the best at getting you the rebates. So call us at 1-800-AIR-REPAIR or find us online at jjburke.com and learn how J&J Burke, PSO, and CenterPoint Energy can save you even more money now. I'm Jay Burke, and you can count on my company because you can count on me. Hi, I'm Jay Burke from J&J Burke Heating and Air. At J&J Burke, we just combined the rebates from PSO and CenterPoint Energy to save you thousands on the most energy-efficient systems available. J&J Burke is a 2014 PSO Partner of the Year for the entire state of Oklahoma. We are the best at getting you the rebates. So call us at 1-800-AIR-REPAIR or go to jjburke.com and learn how you could save thousands today. I'm Jay Burke, and you can count on my company because you can count on me.
Okay, the J&J Burke Home Show each and every Saturday morning from 9 until 9:30. Go to jjburkair.com or info at jjburkair.com and then enter in for our $500 gift value, or also ask for a question that you'd like to hear us talk about on the show. Still opportunities, career opportunities. You talked about what a great company it is with the guarantees that you offer, all of that. You know, that's a great place to work. So you got some openings, so let's talk about that.
Yeah, we have some openings we're actually looking for some install helpers. So if you've done it before, or if you think that's something that we're willing to train, we train everybody anyway our way. So, but if you're willing to train and you can handle the heat, a lot of times we spend a lot of time in attics. We're looking for install helpers. But remember, our company not only just hires you and gives you a decent pay, but we have health insurance, we have retirement, we have all those things. So all full benefits package comes with that. But we also are hiring customer service representatives now. We're looking for people that can answer our phones and talk to people and help us schedule those calls. So if you know someone that's not afraid to say hello and answer the phones and be friendly, please send them our way. Please don't call. Please come in to our office at 2012 Northwest Hoover. We're there. The office is actually open from 8 to 5, and fill out an application, and we will be hiring this next week.
Wow. So that's good. Good opportunities, career opportunities. jjburkair.com. Make sure that you select a question for us for the show. Of course, say the big long word again.
Ultraviolet light. Yes.
No, you said something different.
I know.
No, say the whole thing.
It's a whole mouthful. It's a whole home ultraviolet germicidal light.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like that. Now, see, it sounds
See?
like something now, and a $500 value. So make sure you do that. And that's it. Wow. Just like that. Thanks for the information. I appreciate that, especially sizing does matter, when it comes to heat and air. So, they say that about all kinds of subjects, but great opportunity for you to know whether you got too much, and that's really not helping you when you thought it was going to be everything for you.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Have a great weekend.
Okay, you too, and enjoy the sun, enjoy the fun for what summer brings us, and we'll see you back next week for the J&J Burke Home Show right here each and every Saturday mornings from 9 until 9:30 on KLAW 101.
Hi, I'm Jay Burke from J&J Burke Heating and Air. At J&J Burke, we